right, guys. Ready to go here? Okay. Thanks for all being here today. Happy college football season 2022. It's an exciting time for sure. We all know that Saturdays in the fall are special. And the fact that we're back, football is back. Really excited, obviously, about that. Got a little taste this past weekend, but clearly this coming weekend will be what we're all looking forward to. I'm excited about game week starting. Today is really the first day of game week and the build of Arizona. And that's really what we're looking at and talking about throughout our whole process here. That how can we build Arizona football to where we want it to be and where we want it to go. We talk about three things with our team. It's going to come down to culture. It's going to come down to schematics, and it's going to come down to players. And when we talk about culture, we're really talking about the Wildcat principles. We're saying to our team, and we talk to our team constantly about trusting the process, playing with passion, loving your teammates, embracing the grind, and playing the next play. And we feel as if with our culture, if we can really focus in on that and focus in on those five principles, we'll have a really be able to get this build going the way we want it to go. The second part of it is players. We certainly understand the importance of players. And this offseason, we've really focused in on bringing in a lot of new players, retaining the right players, developing our older players, and seeing how good we can be as a team. Really fortunate that our staff did such a great job recruiting. Hats off to them to bring in the type of recruiting class we brought in, and also the transfer portal and the players that we brought in through the transfer portal. Fortunately for us, the momentum has continued for 2023, and we've found that recruiting has gone very well for us. And we know that if we're going to build Arizona football to where we want it to go, it's going to come down to being able to have another great recruiting class. And then our players that stayed and our players that are with us, our fourth and fifth year players have really embraced what we've asked them to do. They've become great leaders. At this time, I'll announce the 5 captains for this year that the players voted on yesterday. And that is Christian Roland Wallace, Christian Young, Jalen Harris, Jordan Morgan, and Jaden DeLora. And the leadership that those guys have brought over the course of the summer and the course of the spring, we're very grateful to them and to what we're trying to build. And then the final part of our build is the schematics. We have excellent football coaches on our staff, guys that have years upon years of experience. We felt it was really important as we go into this season that we cater our X's and O's to our players. We were really going to spend our time focusing in on what does our offense players do best, and let's put our scheme in place for that. What do our defensive players do best, and let's put our defensive scheme in play for that, and then the importance of the kicking game. We feel as if we're going to build Arizona football to where we need to be, we need culture, we need schematics, and we need players all at the top of our list. And we all have to be performing at the highest level in all three of those phases. And if we do that, we feel like we've got a great opportunity to get this thing going and to build Arizona football to how we all want it, with all of your support. And to our community, we look forward to seeing them in San Diego, and then certainly to kick off our home game. So with that, I will open it up to questions.
How do you feel this year compared to last year this time game week? Are you more prepared, more confident?
Yeah, well, I certainly feel that what we've been able to do is continue to bring in the culture we want and really develop the culture we want. And with the experiences that we've had with the players on our football team, and then the staff working together for another year, we're about 90% together as a coaching staff, just 2 new coaches. So we're a little more familiar with one another. We feel good about that part of it, and I thought we had a very good football camp. I thought our training camp was really good. So I'm cautiously optimistic with our team going into week one. And I know that while we've never played together as a football team yet, we've got 70 players that have never played together. We have 53 players that weren't even on our team. We have to see what it's all going to look like, but I do believe that if we do what I think we can do, we'll be able to, start this build the way we want it to be.
What appealed to you the most about Johnny Danson, and what advice have you given him, if any, heading into his first game as the play caller?
Yeah, the number one thing that with Johnny that we've talked about in the past was the fact that he's so familiar with the West Coast and the Pac-12, and the fact that he's coached at so many different teams, played in the Pac-12, coached, at Washington, coached at USC, coached at UCLA, and now is coaching at Arizona. So that was the number one thing that I felt very comfortable with, that he was currently coaching in the Pac-12 and felt very good about his understanding of what you need to do to stop an offense. I also love his passion. If we're going to talk about part of our culture is going to be playing with passion, then we needed coaches that were going to coach with that same type of passion and be able to get players to run through a wall for him. I think Johnny and Jason Kafusi and our whole coaching staff are able to do that. The only thing we talked about regarding, calling his first game as a defensive coordinator was be you, be confident, believe in your preparation. That was, what I think is the number one thing you could tell anybody. Trust the process, right? You've worked awfully hard to get to where you're at, and if you do that, I believe that good things will come.
Do you have a plan for a depth chart coming out this week?
Yeah, I think we'll release a depth chart today. I was just looking it over this morning. We're all set to release it up probably this afternoon, I would think, Jeff.
Do you have any players that you don't think will be available for the first game?
No, I believe we'll have everybody that's practiced over the last 2 weeks will be available for the game. The players that didn't practice over the last 2 weeks, which I would guess would probably just be Traden Stukes. I hope that he'll be available for the game. That is the plan. Otherwise, everyone's been back since Friday's practice, so we should be good to go. So anything on the depth chart we'll certainly release to you, but I expect no surprises there at all.
In comparison to last year, who your starting quarterback is going into this game. How much does it help you and the team in terms of these 2 weeks to prepare for this game?
Yeah, certainly the quarterback position being secure adds a confidence among the locker room as well as the third floor. Because you know who's taking those snaps. You know what he can do. You know what you want him to do. We feel very confident in Jedd and what he's been trying to get done. He has to trust, now that he can go out there and do everything we ask of him, because he certainly looks like he can. He's shown the ability to be able to process our offense. We've tried to set our schematics and our X's and O's up for his success. And I believe that if he goes out there and, trusts the guys around him, believes in the other 10, like he's shown that he has the last month or last couple of weeks of training camp for sure, we feel a lot better about having Jedd back there as a team. We feel very good about having him be our leader.
What stands out to you about the San Diego State game from last year?
Well, they jumped on us very fast. It was, we had 7 offensive plays and it was 21-0. So that was obviously the biggest challenge. But it's a totally different team. They're totally different. We're different. So what stands out to me is that we didn't play well enough to win last year. We can't go down 21-0 against most teams. But I think that they're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to be physical. That part of the team won't be different. And that's what we have to be able to be prepared for as we go.
And what do you think about just showing on national CBS Live, first game on that Saturday?
Yeah, I don't think too much about that, actually. I just kind of think that our team needs to just go out there and play football, believe in what we've asked them to do, trust the process of preparation, recognize that, this is the first day of the build and that we're going to just do everything we possibly can to play our best game on Saturday, regardless of who's watching.
Jedd, going into week one, can you preview the strength of the offensive and the defensive lines?
Yeah, our offensive line is pretty veteran. The two tackles are both veteran players that have started for a while. Our interior guys, Josh Donovan, was a starter for us last year. He looks to have really improved throughout all of training camp. Jonas Sevenea has done a fantastic job coming in here as a true freshman, but he did get here in January, so he had the advantage of spring football. And Josh Baker is played about 3 games, I believe, last year as a starter. Played about 7 or 8 games total for us last year. Very intelligent. Spent a ton of time in the weight room. Really has a great grasp of offensive football. So feel good about that group. And then Sam Lange, Joe Borjan, those guys have added JT Hand. Those guys have added a lot of depth to the team that we didn't necessarily have last year going at this moment in time. So that's been good. Defensively, our defensive line, all 4 interior guys, 5 interior guys are all healthy and back. So you have Tia and Keon Bars both back. You have Tank Wilson and Paris Shan ready to go. I think we'll probably get some Jacob Kangaika out there as well. So excited about all 5 of those interior defensive linemen available. On the edges, Hunter Eccles, transferred in from USC, has had a very, very good camp. Jalen Harris on the other side. We all know that what Jalen has done for us. He's continuing to getting stronger, continue to get more comfortable, more confident. So both of those guys on the edges, we feel good that they are getting better every day.
You may not think about who's watching, but given the fact that they did jump on you last year, do you have to have players aware that, hey, you're opening up a new stadium, this is a team that could be extra fired up based on that?
I think that our team has to just go out there and play good football. I think that's where we're at right now, that we need to go out there as a team, as a program, and believe in what we've asked them to do, the process of preparation, committing to the process of getting better every single day, and not get wrapped up in opening up a new stadium, and not get wrapped up in the crowd, and not get wrapped up in who we're playing, and just do the best we can as a football team to get better.
What's your evaluation of Braxton Burmeister as a quarterback, and have you been able to talk to Jimmy Doherty about him, considering you recruited him to Oregon?
Yeah, we played him, I think, when he was at Oregon, and I was at UCLA in 2017. I think he actually played in that game as a true freshman. And then, I've seen him. I've seen him. I knew him when he was, Jimmy was only at Oregon for about 6 weeks. And then he came to us at UCLA. So I'm familiar with who he is. I've seen him play. I watched a lot of his Virginia Tech film this past weekend. But Coach Danson's, responsible for putting together the plan there. And he's done a fantastic job understanding what he does, talking through what his skill set is. We understand he's he's shown the ability to both be a very good runner as well as a good passer, and which is a tough thing to handle. He's certainly a good dual threat quarterback that has a lot of experience playing in now his third Power 5 system.
Jedd, there's quite a few freshmen on this team. Do you say anything different, or what do you do to prepare them for the environment?
Yeah, I would expect us probably, I don't know the exact number of freshmen that'll be starting, but I would expect us probably to have between 7 to 10 freshmen playing in the game, and true freshmen, not just, and then an additional set of redshirt freshmen. We told our guys, trust your preparation, and I'll talk to them again tomorrow and again on certainly Friday evening about that. That they have to understand, the field is the field. They've played on 120 yards, 53 and a third their whole lives. They have to be able to handle the early wave of adrenaline and emotion that goes into, being a young football player and for the first time being out there in a Division I program. But we also made a decision. We made a decision we were going to play a lot of young players. We made a decision that we're comfortable with that. And in order to build Arizona to where we wanted to go, we know that we're going to have to do all we can to alleviate some of those pressures and stresses that they might have.
What are your expectations for Jerry Roberts this year?
I expect him to start opening day, and as I watch him develop last season, when he went in week 7, I believe it was, for the final 4 games, and then unfortunately got hurt the first play of week 11. So he played 3 games plus. He was getting better every week. So my expectation is for him to improve every week. He's really grown into a leader on the team. We put him on leadership council as of last week because of the way he's handled himself at practice every day and how much he's done committed in the weight room as well. So I would just say that I would expect Jerry to go out there and, improve every day, but be a big impact for us.
Jedd, at this point, what gives you confidence that the team has indeed trusted your process?
Well, I could only go off of how we practice every day, how the kids prepare. Their knowledge base has certainly improved. The way they talk the game, the way they behave off the field. We had our best semester ever this summer. So it tells me that they were doing things right off the field academically, what they've done in the community. And then when they show up on the practice field, they're ready to work. They've had a tremendous confidence and very good demeanor when they get out there. There's no lates. There's no guys dragging their cleats. There's no guys that aren't excited about going out there to play. Now, of course, for us, the key is this. Now you have to go play. And as we're building this program up to where we want it to go, now it's a matter of, Jaden has to play like we've seen Jaden play. And DJ has to run the way we expect DJ to run, and Rayshawn has to run, and Jonah has to run, and T-Mac has to make plays, and Dorian has to make plays, and Hunter has to make plays, and Tia has to make plays, and our back end has to make plays, with CY and C-Row and Stukes and, guys that have had a lot of experiences, right? Jackson Turner has started a lot of games for us. So the confidence is that those guys are now really believing in themselves. And now they're going to have to go out there, and we're expecting that group to play really well.
Jedd, I know the focus is on San Diego State, but being in San Diego, will you be able to do any recruiting? Chandler's playing in the Honor Bowl this weekend. Will you be able to visit any schools down there? Yeah, there's always that opportunity when you're on the road to be able to get some coaches out to some games. That'll be our plan. But not an extensive amount of people are going to be out on the road recruiting. We're going to focus most of our attention this week on opening game. There's a lot of new and a lot of young, and we feel like we have to help this team right now with all of the youth as well as the inexperience of being a Wildcat to make sure that we can do that well together.
Okay, that's our time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it very much.